Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Cole Ventures YouTube channel. My name's Isaac Colavecchio. I don't know if I've ever actually said that on here before. Nice to meet you. Glad you guys are here. Good to see your smiling faces here on the YouTube. Today we're talking about the power bank, the batteries, the inverter, how we get juice into the bus. And before we get started, let me just tell you guys that I had no idea what I was doing when I started this. Sparks were flying, inverters were exploding, and it was a lot of trial and error, just like everything else was on the bus. So this is maybe not the ideal way to do it, but this is how we did it, and it's working for now, and nobody died in the process. So let's do it. Let's talk real quick about the 4 different ways that you can power your bus. Before I show you what we did, you can do shore power, which means you basically just plug in to the shore or to any outlet that you can find. You can have a generator with you that can help power the bus. A lot of people do solar panels, they stick them on top, which is super cool. We haven't done that yet, but we can add that later. And then the 4th way is to charge with like your alternator or off of the engine while you're driving. And so we ended up going with shore power and off the alternator for our power, and then we might do solar later. I didn't want to have a generator running. They're just loud and noisy and out of control. So I'll show you guys what we did. We'll start on the outside and just work our way in, and I'll talk about each thing as we go. And I think I'll draw a picture when we're all done, because for me, the pictures really helped when I was looking all this up. All right, this is our plug. It's just a 110, 15 amp plug that you can plug into any house or McDonald's or whatever you want to do. A lot of RVs and buses will have like a 30 amp or a 50 amp so that you can just bypass the whole battery system and just power the whole thing with a plug, and you can kind of put like a switch on it. But we were gonna be plugged into our house and here at the ranch, and there's no 50 amp service here, so we just decided to go with the 15, and it just plugs right in like that, and then it goes from right here outside through, and then through this hole, and then to this power strip right here. And this orange one goes to our hot water heater. I wanted to bypass the battery and stuff for the hot water heater because it's got quite a draw to it. And then this plug goes to our charger. So this is a Power Max charger. It's just like a regular trickle charger. It's got like 3 stages: trickle, super, and medium, I guess. So it can charge the batteries up really fast, and then it maintains it. It's a smart thing. And so it's got a positive and a negative that come off that just go to these positive and negative lugs on the batteries. For the batteries, we got 4 deep cell marine batteries. They're 6 volts each, so they're tied in series and parallel together, which means I basically have 2 12-volt batteries. And I got them from Interstate Batteries, and I got Costco returns, which means that they were way cheaper. They're a little bit used, but anyone can return anything to Costco for any reason, and then Interstate will resell them for like 40 bucks each. So those are the batteries, and then the batteries go to the inverter. And this inverter is my 3rd inverter. My first one, I exploded because I had a short in my 110. I must have screwed through a wire into the wall, and there was just a pop and a cloud of smoke. And I was able to return it to Amazon because one of the options was it's broken, and so I clicked that and they took it, no questions asked. I ordered a second one. It was, I think it was called a Power Bright 5,000 watt. It was a modified sine wave, and the modified sine wave wasn't working very well with our microwave and our stovetop, because there's a modified and there's a pure sine wave. And what I learned after I bought it is that a modified sine wave doesn't work well with electronics with motors. And so I ended up sending that one back, and then I got a pure sine wave. It's a 5,000 watt. It's called Power Jack. It's made in Taiwan. I wish I still had the instructions with me. They made no sense, and it was just weird. So I had to kind of figure it out as I went, and it's a cheaper one than normal. It's like only 450 bucks, which if you've looked on Amazon is way cheaper. The other ones are like $1,000, the American made ones. So this is our inverter. It's got 2 positives and 2 negatives running to it. I think I did like 2-aught wire into it. And then this is the power that comes out of it. Right here goes to our panel in the house. It also has a plug on it. And this one has a way to like charge the batteries and power the house, but you can't do both at the same time. So I just left the charger on because I wanted to be able to charge and use the power at the same time. So you just flip it on, and then it's got a fan that runs all the time, and it works pretty well so far. Let's go draw some pictures. I'll draw this out. This might make more sense. And man, it is hot out here. I am sweating like crazy. It's like 90 something. Need a bigger piece of paper than that. All right, you got your shore power. That's your house. And it goes in to your charger. And then you've got your batteries. And then your inverter. And then you've got your startup batteries over here. So let's do positive is red. Negative is black. I did it backwards. All right, here's what we got. We got our shore power here. This is like plugging into a house. This is your charger. All your red pluses are positives because red wires are always positive. Your blacks are negative. And I'm going to kind of show you guys how we wired this thing. And one tip is before you go and get your wires made up, I got mine made up at Interstate Batteries, you run a rope or a string or twine from terminal to terminal, and then you measure the lengths and you get the gauges that you need. And they recommended I use like a 1-aught for these. Yeah, so here's how the wiring works. So to do them in series and parallel, you connect them like that. So you do a negative to negative, a positive to positive, and a positive to negative, positive, negative. So that basically makes this one big 12 volt and this one big 12 volt, and then they're tied together so they're all using the power together. And so what I did is I ran from the charger, I ran a positive to here to charge it, and then I ran a negative over to here to this lug, so that the charge could kind of flow through the batteries pretty evenly. And then I ran my 2 negatives to the inverter off of these guys, and then my 2 positives off of these guys. So there's 2 wires to each positive and negative to the inverter, and I didn't go off of this because it kind of was sparking, and that's why one of my first inverters melted down, because I was touching the lug to the back and it was just like popping and sparking, and I actually ended up melting down the lug.
Yeah.
Why can't I?
It's not fitting on.
It is. It's just melting it. Whoa. That's crazy. That seems wrong, doesn't it? And then I also have 1 wire running all the way under the bus. It's a positive, and it runs all the way under the bus to, what's it called? It's called a separator. So, and it just has a lug on the back on both sides. And so I ran a positive off of this guy all the way under the bus, connected it to here, and then connected another one to here to this positive. And so what the separator does is it, when the startup batteries are fully charged, like from, let's say this is the alternator and the engine in the back. This is charging this guy, the alternator, and when this guy gets fully charged, it'll send the charge through the separator and it'll start charging here. And when these guys are fully charged, it'll start sending a charge through here back to the startup batteries. So they kind of share power, and they charge each other. And we were gonna do a something else, I can't remember what it's called, where it would just charge straight off the alternator and go kind of like this off of the alternator, the engine, but our engine didn't have the right wires and hookup for that. And so from here, you've got your wires that just go to our panel in the house, and the rest of that is 110. I could have done another panel off of here to do a 12 volt system for like plugs and lights and stuff, or like some fans, but I didn't do that. Kind of wish I would have, but at this point it's too late. And if I wanted to add solar panels, I could get a setup, and I'm thinking about getting ones that just lay on the ground so I can kind of move and find the sun, but they would have a charge controller of some kind, and then they would just go into the batteries as well. And that is how all of the wires work. All right, thanks for watching, guys. That one was a little more confusing and technical, and I don't know if it made any sense, but I am sweating like crazy inside the bus. I turned the AC off and it's like 92 degrees. Have I said that yet? That it's hot out here in California. But thanks for watching. Hit like if this was helpful. Subscribe if you want some more videos. I think next week I may just be doing a full tour walkthrough of the bus. I've kind of run out of videos that I wanted to make, and so if you guys want to see a video, leave a comment or a question. If you are confused about what I just talked about in the battery setup, leave a question and I'll try to explain it as best I can. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.
Were you under the bus?
I'm under the bus.
With Jonathan?
Jonathan's not under the bus.